Good morning, Deanna. This is your classmate, Brandy, and I am responding to your discussion board on what was this week's diversity issues and sexuality. Well, first and foremost, I do appreciate you sharing your thoughts and opinions on the topic, especially coming from a personal background. I know one of the questions was, what are the values or what are your values of sexuality? And I appreciated you bringing in like kind of your origin or like where you started from, tying into how you view sexuality and diversity issues as well. But I especially wanted to note one part to where you mentioned how your background was more brought up by your parents when you learned about sexuality. They were your like role models. They were your influence on how you learned about it, and then essentially as you grew and things like that, you learned about it on your own. Also to the point where you tie in what you've been brought up on into your work that you do. I think a couple of times I've mentioned how I wanted to work with victims who have been victimized in a sexual manner. And so to hear that, you do help people who have grown up in either a violent, abusive, or negative home situation, I'm already like intrigued. But to the point, so I find that when you mention about your challenges that you still face, where the challenges you face differ from what you know or what you experienced, what like your clients have experienced. So I was actually reading an article to where this article is titled, and it's by Gary Strauss. The article is titled "The Real Thing: A Perspective on Sexual Revolution and a Challenge to Christian Professionals." This was written by, again, Gary Strauss. It's a journal article from the Journal of Psychology and Theology, written in 2002. And one of the things he said, which Gary Strauss is, for reference, a evangelical Christian and psychotherapist who works with individuals with sexual issues. He stated that I am thankful for a historic resource on which I can take a stand, namely, the Holy Bible, as a primary source of identifying the real thing. I say this because it's literally in quotes. So with that, when you mention how God crafted sex, and I think now with the perversion and the things that have been seen that sex is not, it kind of takes away from that. And I think a lot of sexual issues or disorders derive from that. But like you stated, God created sex in the Holy Word, even how Strauss says. It's to know that we can stand on that, knowing that our Father created this to be something that should be beautiful, something that should be enjoyed, excitement. You even mentioned Collins when you said when someone is seeking intimacy, tenderness, excitement, and fulfillment in sexual relationships, like this is something that God created. He wanted us to do, and I pull that in because I admire that you brought that in as well into your discussion post. So Deanna, it is about 2:30 in the morning here in Virginia, and I am again thankful that you shared your input, and that is what I had for you as far as your discussion board response. Best of luck, or actually be blessed in the rest of your courses, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. All right, bye-bye.